Good evening, General Assembly. We're going to get started here with GA, and then after we're done here, you'll move into committees. So to get us started, Andrew Brown, if you please take attendance. Secretary Brown, my apologies.
Representative DeBaz. Representative Gallo.
President voting.
Representative Huffman. Representative Fitch. Representative Sabe.
President voting.
Representative Ratliff. Representative Razavi. Representative Tran.
President voting.
Representative Hassan. Representative Vaughn.
President voting.
Representative Cunningham. Representative Ha. Representative Shu. Representative Heck. Representative Haight. Representative Sevier. Representative McHenry.
President voting.
Representative Ladelpha. Representative Butcher. Representative Wetterston. Representative Komeyer. Representative Burleson. Representative Lambert.
President voting.
Representative Lindell. Representative Liu. Representative Cornelius. Representative Ruska. Representative Watts. Representative Feaster. Representative Payne. Representative Stump. Representative Shaw.
President voting.
Representative Alvarado. Representative Toomey. Representative Gladys. Representative Rangaswamy. Representative Ridgway. Representative Mahmood. Parliamentarian Smith. Treasurer Williams.
President funding.
Treasurer Sloth. Speaker McKee.
Present.
Vice President Dooner. Vice President Cruz.
President voting.
Vice President Cummins. Vice President Shaw.
President voting.
Vice President Hale.
President voting.
President Agarwal.
President voting.
Okay, if you'd please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It's in the back. It's our back.
Okay.
Hall.
Just as a note to everyone, if you didn't pick up your iClicker, they are out in the hallway, so please make sure you do have it. With that, we will have our guest speaker for the evening. We have Kelly Maloney with us. Kelly Maloney is currently working for ITS here at Case, and she is a past USG Vice President of Information Technology. So, Kelly, if you would like to.
Yeah, I do. Thanks. Okay. So let's begin. So we're starting a social media initiative, and our goal is to try to increase participation in our social media presence on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, so that we can use these outlets to more effectively convey information about our products and services to the campus community and to the student body. And so for the next 5 weeks, we will be featuring information and links and things like that on our 3 social media sites, which, yes, that is the slide with the information. So you can reach us at those handles. And so like us on Facebook, +1 us on Google+, and follow us on Twitter, because we'll be featuring useful information, and you will also have the opportunity to win some prizes. And everybody loves winning prizes. Yeah, you can go again, I guess. I kind of covered 2 slides there. And here's some other information about some stuff that we're doing. Adjourn is a new initiative that we're partnering with several other universities, and it's kind of relevant as our semester draws to a close here, because if you're going to be spending time at another participating institution over the summer, and you see the Adjourn wireless network, you can log into that network with your case network ID and password and gain the benefits of that institution's secured network. So let's see, we also have been working to address the issues lots of people were experiencing with Case Wireless over this past semester. We've addressed the major issue where people were able to connect but not able to access the internet, and hopefully that should be working much better for everyone now. And again, remember, if you are doing anything that you want higher speed for, or if it requires accessing secure network resources, or if you want your communications to be, if you want their privacy ensured, you should be using Case Wireless when you're out and about on campus instead of Case Guest. Or you could use the VPN with Case Guest, but Case Wireless is another option for you. In the fall, we plan to unroll our distributed antenna system, which will increase cell phone reception around campus, especially in buildings. And we'd also like to remind everybody about lynda.com, which provides tutorials for a wide variety of software programs, many of which are also available on the Software Center. And these services are all free to members of the CASE community if you access lynda.com through our special portal on help.case.edu. So if you need training on something, go to help.case.edu, go to our lynda.com link, and you can get all those tutorials for free. And another thing, actually 2 other things. First of all, MediaVision courseware is going to be debuting a new user interface for the courseware site for the fall semester. So stay tuned to our Facebook, Twitter, and Google Plus feeds for more information about that, but just so you know, that's on the horizon. And also, as you may have seen in today's issue of the Daily, we have made the ITS strategic plan available to view so that you can see what our strategic plan for the next 3 years is all about. So there's a link in the Daily, and you can go to that link and read it and leave feedback if you would like also. And there are also these sessions to leave comments, to comment on the strategic initiative. If you would like to comment in person, and I would strongly suggest that anybody with an interest in technology services on campus attend one of these sessions and share your thoughts. As you can see, the list is up there, and we ask that you please RSVP if you're planning on attending. And that's all I got. Any questions?
Any questions for Kelly?
Yes.
A quick question about the improved cell reception. Has any initiatives been taken in PBL with that? I'm just asking, I guess, a particular building.
I have not heard any information about specific buildings at this time. I would assume that they will do testing and find that that's an area that needs more cell reception and act accordingly.
Thank you.
Yep.
Just a quick question regarding MediaVision. For next year, do you know if the new MediaVision will allow more user features? That's the word I'm looking for. Such as increasing the playback speed of videos and such stuff like that, or?
Unfortunately, I don't really have much information about what that redesign will entail at this time. I would advise you to keep track of our social media presences for more information as that information becomes available.
Any other questions? Okay. Seeing none. Thank you very much, Kelly.
You're welcome.
If you think of any other questions, you can probably get in contact with Vice President Dooner, and he would be happy to talk to Kelly or look into it with the IT department. So, with that, we're going to move into old business. Are there any nominations for the Arts and Sciences representative position? Okay. Seeing none, we will. Is there any other old business to consider? Representative Toomey.
I move to reintroduce our door discussion.
Okay. So I'll set 5 minutes for discussion to start. As a reminder, this is the door security discussion for the USG office, and we're choosing between the options of the online, slightly more expensive system, the mid-priced system, or the option of course, choosing neither system. So with that, are there any points for discussion? Vice President Hale.
Excuse me for a second. The microphone's way over here. Regardless of, because I know last time we were talking a lot about price, we're not going to be in the office for a while, so why spend so much money on it? Blah, 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 blah. But for me, like, regardless of how long we're going to be in the office, regardless of even cost, I have, over these discussions with exec and discussions with GA, sort of developed this vision, very much my own, just like, thought, for the office next year, where it's much more accessible to groups, where groups are having their exec meetings or their group meetings in the USG office, where groups can go in there and print whenever they want. They don't have to come 9 to 5, or they can get their mail at 2 in the morning if they want. And I really think the really expensive system makes that easy for us to implement, because it's just an email. And I think we owe a lot more service of that facility to the groups.
Treasurer Williams.
I'm going to actually completely concur on that, because as one of the people that will be dealing with that, I think it'll be a lot easier for groups for us to be able to add names to their rosters if they have transition in leadership. I think it'll be fantastic. And I think it's a system that everybody's familiar with. You just go and you bump your wallet or your purse or your backpack, and the door opens magically. So I think that's a great thing.
Representative Renegaswamy.
I'm also going to be agreeing with both of the previous speakers, but with a different point as why I agree. I know we're actually going to be leaving the facility soon, going to the new student center, but I am more than willing to bet that whichever new group is going to get that office is going to more than thank us for having such a high-tech system in there. And you got to think, I mean, a university improvement as well. We're making a pretty big impact on the university, and making more of their rooms secure and having more opportunities for other entities to use that room into the future. So the reason I'm going to be supporting the more expensive system is actually that reason, and the reason as stated before.
Representative McHenry.
Point of information, are we going to vote on whatever conclusion we come to as an assembly?
Yes. Representative Shaw.
Quick question, how long does it take to install this?
President Agrawal.
It shouldn't take a very long time. It's really a matter of Casey Medley of Twing Center making a phone call, and we have services on campus that could come and install it for us. So it probably, I would say the most complicated system might take a little bit longer. They can come in immediately, but they would have to probably take a little while, because it involves bringing electricity to that area so that they can have that system where you beep in. So that one is going to take a longer time than the other system, where it's just kind of installing this thing on a door. So getting them to come out won't take very long, but the actual process, depending on how sophisticated the system is, could take a little while. But it won't take months. It would just take a longer for the online system, because they're bringing electricity to that area.
If I could follow up on that, so perhaps a week out of the 3 weeks we have left?
Sure, I mean, I don't know how long it would take them to install it, but they would keep going as long as they need to. We can leave campus, but they'll still be working on the door, basically.
Vice President Junior. Is there any dissent to any discussion? Okay, so we're going to have to vote on any discussion then? Sure, you may. Are there any other points for discussion? Representative Watts.
I don't think that USG's money would be wisely spent on either of the systems, because obviously we're not going to be using either of the security systems this year, and I don't think that 2 years is long enough for I don't know, like we had not clarified a specific amount of things that had been stolen from the office, how much is worth, like, I think it'd be smarter to find a different way to secure the items in the office, but obviously it would be smarter to use the more expensive system, and I don't think that we should be spending that money if we're not going to be there very much longer.
Representative McHenry?
I agree with Aditya, Representative Rangaswamy, because not only just you have to think about what groups could be using our old office after we move out, but a group may not even use the office at all. We don't know what the university is going to use that for. They could use it for storage of different materials, in which case it would be beneficial to the university, in my opinion, because it would put important university files under lock and key, and only certain people could access it. So that's one way in which the university could use this door security in the future, should we enact it.
With that, we have reached time for discussion unless there is a motion to extend. Representative Shaw? Is there any dissent to extending discussion? Okay, seeing none, 3 more minutes for discussion. Representative Shaw, if you have a point.
So, like we said, the student center that we're going to be moving into is a lot larger than just us moving into there. There's also going to be the entire rest of the club base is probably going to be in there. We don't know who's going to be taking over our spot, if it's a student group or an administrative group or whatnot. And I would especially hate it if it were used for storage, to have, what was it, an $8,000 system? $5,000 system to be used to as someone said, to store files that could be kept literally under lock and key that would do the same thing.
Representative Toomey?
I think that it's more the matter of principle that, like, even though we're not going to be in the new, like, in the office for a long time before we move to the new student center, like, it's the principle that we need to have, like, greater flexibility for the student leaders, and we also need to have, like, a better security system to protect the important documents and files and just objects within the office. And like, this isn't just going to be for us. It's going to be a wonderful security gift for whoever next occupies our office.
Representative Vaughn?
I think that more than focusing on who's going to get it after us, we have to focus on how it's going to benefit us. 2 years is half of someone's college career. So if we really want the USG office to be a place where students feel comfortable accessing and using all of the resources that we have available to them, we really need to make sure that it is available to them. And I think that having the security system is a benefit for that.
Representative McHenry?
Call the previous question.
Is there any dissent to ending discussion? Okay, seeing none, we'll move into the vote. So, yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. So the options for voting, you can either vote for this first round for A, for the online, the more expensive, the $5,000 system. That's just their student ID access where we can add and remove names anytime. That's option A. Option B is the swipe their card, sort of like sophomores you have in your residence halls. I think it's in the village as well. And then option C will be for neither of the systems to be installed. So if any one system gets more than 50%, then that is the system we will use. If no one option gets more than 50%, we'll eliminate the lowest and vote again. Are there any questions on that system? Representative Ladelfa?
What is the price of the first system? I know you said the second
I believe it's $800. Yes. Good. Okay. Any other questions on the voting methods? Representative Sabe?
So A is the most expensive system?
Yeah, A is the online system. It is the more expensive one. Okay. So voting is open. You can begin now. Yes? C is neither option. Yeah, I think Theo's typing it out now. So A is the online.
We got this.
Yeah. So B is the card swipe, less expensive of the two systems. 800. President Agrawal?
And there's no abstention, correct? Is there abstention or no abstention? Everyone gets to vote?
There is. You can vote D to abstain. Yeah, but you are allowed to abstain if you don't have a vote. Vice President Cruz.
Just point of information. Would the swipe access system require like a separate card like the sophomore housing, upperclassmen housing does, or would it just be on your student ID?
Okay, voting is open. Representative Shaw, is it a point of order or? Yep.
So I was just wondering, I forgot what the math was, but was it less for the second option if we added somebody every week of the year?
The second option is a price for somebody to come out every time we switch off names for the system. The first option, we can change them at any point for nothing, just emailing a list of names. Okay. So, again, please vote now. Voting is open. Okay. And quite clearly, the first system has it, so we will be installing the online system. That point of business is resolved, and that is all of our old business. So now we are moving into new business. Representative McHenry.
I move to introduce Bill B 21-27.
Is there a speaker in the pro?
All right. So you all should have this handout. Hopefully you looked it over before now, but if you didn't, because you just didn't see it, we have a couple of changes that we want to do for the funding bylaws to help student groups get their money back and to update the policies that were passed through the referendum that we sent out during elections. So if you notice on the first page, we're going to change treasurers will be voting members of their committee. We talked about this in the Constitution rewrite. They will be voting members of their committee because it is relevant to their position. On the next page, we are clarifying in section C on the left that student groups will get an automatic allocation of $50, but they will be able to get essentially perhaps $550, correct, total. But if you add that $50 and then whatever they request through rolling funding. On that same page, we are going to make it so that the president and financial officer of each club will be required to attend the informational meeting. This helps the VP of Finance and the treasurers do their job, so presidents and treasurers aren't asking the same question over and over again, which they should have learned in the financial meeting. So they know all the rules and they're not breaking the rules and they get all the money they could possibly get. Moving along, we're changing the, upon receiving recognition, undergraduate student organizations will automatically receive at least $50. This provides a little flexibility on how much the Finance Committee deems is appropriate to give to the club, correct? All right. We're going green with the funding handbook because I think it is a tad ridiculous that we have to print out all these handbooks to give to the clubs. It's not environmentally friendly and it's expensive on our part. So why don't we save a little money? We have it on the website all the time and it's just easier to update through the website. So if we send out that link to everyone, then they can have it whenever they need it and they don't have to find their hard copy. Moving right along. I think the next big one has to do with reallocations. All right. So usually after an event passes, and Jazel, you can clarify if I'm wrong, the money that is not used is put into our rollover for that semester, correct? What we want to do here is take that money that's not used by those student groups and put it into the rolling funding budget. That way, if that student group feels that they should have had that money and want to do that event again, even after the event passes, they can come back and ask for it if they wish to. And we can also give that money that wasn't used to another student group who maybe didn't get as much money for their mass funding for certain events. And they can use that money effectively, unlike the student group who had it the first time. Is that clear? All right. I think I covered the majority of the points. We are not voting on this today. We have to table it, but we will discuss it a little bit, I believe, correct, Matt? So I'm open to points.
Any points of clarification for the speaker? Representative Sabe.
So you're saying if the event passes and they didn't use the money, like right now, it would go to next year's rolling funding? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
What? No. It'll go to that semester's rolling funding. So
What is it now?
right now it goes in the rollover. So yeah.
Okay, so that would require like the committee to check to make sure, like,
Yes,
as soon as the date passes, they'd take that.
we only change one line in the bylaws. A lot of what needs to be done is to look at the policy that the finance committee follows sort of through the handbook. This will all be explained through the handbook because there are certain reasons why maybe an event didn't occur by the time of the date that are acceptable, and they will be able to reuse the money. Jazel's going to set up a policy, and we will gladly go over it with anyone who wishes to know more about it.
Secretary Brown?
Just a quick clarification point to the section E regarding the flexibility allowed to Finance Committee for the automatic allocations. Does this newfound flexibility allow Finance Committee to allocate different levels of automatic allocations then? Because it doesn't specify that each group will receive the same amount of automatic allocation.
Jazel, that's you.
So when we do automatic allocation, it will be the same amount for every group.
Okay.
So if we do an automatic $50 for every organization, that's what we'll decide. If we want it to be higher, every single group will get the same amount.
Okay, I'm just saying that my concern is that the bylaws currently allow the flexibility to fund at different levels.
Yeah, we can.
So my suggestion would be that someone motions to clarify that every group will receive the same automatic allocation.
Any other points of clarification for Parliamentarian Smith? Okay, seeing none. Thank you. Oh,
yeah, Patrick.
Representative Vaughn?
In the part about the funding handbook, it says that it can be distributed. Does that mean that if someone wants a printed copy that we have to provide them with one?
Yeah.
If they ask for it?
Well, depending on the parliamentarian at the time, but yeah, I would consider that if they want a hard copy, then they can get one.
Okay.
That was just to make it optional. The wording before was we have to give everyone one, which is, I think in my mind, is ridiculous and not environmentally friendly.
Any other points of clarification? Okay, seeing none. Thank you, Theo. Is there a speaker in the con? Seeing none, we will move into discussion. We'll set 5 minutes for discussion tonight. Remember that this will need to be tabled at the end, so there will be more discussion on it at another point as well. Vice President Dooner.
Okay, so this one about the reallocations going into the rolling funding budget, I really like the spirit of this rule. I think that it's cool that that this money will sort of have a second chance at being used. But I'm really nervous because I'm a student org president, and I know that people in their mass funding allocations, believe it or not, they don't know a semester in advance exactly what day their event's going to be on. So they ballpark it, right? They pick a day, they basically throw a dart at a calendar, and then I'm just nervous that if they pick a date early, then suddenly a week or two passes and their money's gone. So I think we should definitely. I know Theo mentioned that you're going to put some sort of process together for this, but I think that it's very important to recognize that student groups do this kind of thing, and that if they've been allocated the money, it kind of sucks for them to lose it.
Representative Sabe, do you still have a point? Okay. Parliamentarian Smith? Or
Do you want
Vice President Shaw?
Okay.
Okay, so I've actually thought about that problem. So what will happen on the Finance Committee is every single member will be given like 15, 20 groups to look after. When a date arrives for a certain organization, that liaison on the finance committee will send an email to the president saying, you have this much money and your event is coming up, or it's today, or they'll let them know that the date is coming up. So they will give you a choice. Have you already started planning for that event? Are you going to hold it sometime soon? Will you use that money? Or can you go ahead and put it off to rolling funding, and if you decide you want to hold it later, you can ask for it during rolling funding.
Vice President Junior?
So just to clarify, I just want to get this out right now. Is there a penalty if you guess the date early and you end up being incorrect? Like, would you lose that money if you want to have your event later in the semester then?
No. What we like to do is, if you do know that the event date is going to change, and it even says in the bylaws, if your event date or location or anything for that matter regarding that event is going to change, notify the Vice President of Finance or the treasurers. That way we know.
Representative Sabe, do you still have a point, or are you good? Okay. Any other points for discussion? Representative Rangaswamy?
Just a question. I know USG does occasionally have turnover in individuals. Would this have to be like a training process every single time if Finance Committee was to gain new members or lose new members, etc.? Has that been thought out yet? Because you said you assigned groups to people, that kind of thing.
So another thing I found out, and it's either in the funding bylaws or in our normal bylaws, but we have, in the beginning when we first, when we have our USG retreat and everything, we need to assign we need members that can stay on the committee as long as possible. And I know that we've had a lot of turnover this semester as well as last semester, but we have to do the best that we can. We'll distribute the groups as best as we can, so maybe 15, 20 per person. And if that changes, then the treasurer and the VP will be able to help out, distributing to those groups. But we would really like it if we can, during retreat, we can get a set number of people and have them stay on the committee.
Parliamentarian Smith?
To clarify that as well, that's why there's only one line really talking about this new change, because a lot of how this policy will work is so variable on who we have on committee. I didn't want to put anything in stone just in case, I hope this doesn't happen, but Colin only has 3 people on his committee, then they're responsible for the 150 groups or whatever that we have to keep track of. There's multiple ways that we could deal with that by, when we go through mass funding, putting down all the dates, putting them on a Google Calendar, and then you see, hey, what's coming up soon? Who do we need to keep track of? Assigning group members to certain committees is only one way to do that, and I didn't really want to define that in the bylaws, because then they have to follow that, and if something goes wrong that we can't predict, then they have the flexibility to not be injured by that.
Any other points for discussion? Seeing none. Oh, Representative McHenry?
I move to table the bill.
Okay, is there any objection to tabling Bill B21-27? Okay, seeing none, the bill is tabled. We do have 2 other items of new business to take care of that aren't printed. We will need to open nominations for vacancies in the Weatherhead School of Management and the School of Engineering. Representative Shaw?
Shaw. That's me. I move to open nominations or vacancies. What'd you say? Open nominations for vacancies in the School of Weatherhead Management and what was the other one?
Engineering.
Engineering.
Okay, so we'll start with nominations for Weatherhead. Are there any nominations for Weatherhead representative? Representative Vaughn?
Joseph Digby.
Any other nominations for Weatherhead? Okay, seeing none, if you do have any, you can send their names along to Parliamentarian Smith anytime throughout the next week. Any nominations for School of Engineering representative? Representative Sabe?
Abrar Suhail.
Any other nominations for the School of Engineering?
As
Vice
a point
President Junior?
point of information, if we elect someone to one of these positions, they would serve about 2 GAs, and then and then they wouldn't come back because they weren't elected before, right?
Correct. So they would be hopefully appointed next week, and then they would serve out just about 2 weeks of the end of the semester. So. Okay, seeing no other nominations, that is the end of new business. Do look over the agenda for any reports from the vice presidents, but otherwise we are out of business for the meeting. Representative McHenry?
I was hoping to make an announcement
Okay.
about peer advising, engineering school peer advising. It is this Friday in North 310. Come out and see what you want to take next semester. Freshman representatives who were just elected to the engineering caucus for next year, I highly recommend you come. This will be a great event for you to see what we do. Also, we will be advertising this very heavily, so be on the lookout.
Other important announcements, Vice President Shaw?
So, just a raise of hands, how many of you are not busy for the next 3 hours? Darn it. Well, if you're not, and you decide you want to come join the Finance Committee, we're doing appeals from 8 to 10, and then making decisions afterwards. So, feel free to attend. We'll be in the USG office.
President Agarwal?
Just a reminder to VPs in your committee week tonight, please take a couple of minutes to make a list of all the partners, administrators, departments that helped you with your initiatives this year. One component that we're adding to our USG inauguration is we are recognizing with a small certificate of appreciation departments, offices, administrators that really helped us this year to accomplish our goals. So we are asking the VPs to make a list of those administrators so that we can recognize them. So help your representatives, help your VPs out in making that list. Thanks.
Representative Shaw?
Just a personal call for everybody here. On April 14th, there is the DeMacapella final concert, so it would be awesome if you guys could attend, and also DTD's Caddyshack event, which is a philanthropy event for a past member of Case Western who died in war. So it'd be awesome if you guys could come out and support.
Representative Toomey?
Two things here. One next weekend is Kiss Me Kate by the Footlighters, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Saturday at midnight. I should come out and watch. It's going to be a great show. And also I ran into Mr. Denzik earlier and he said he misses us all.
Representative Sabe?
Move to adjourn.
Okay, we are adjourned. Please meet with your VPs for your committee meetings. Check with them here before you leave so you know exactly where you're meeting.